Hello, everyone. This is Chrism, and I'd like to welcome you to this Kundalini conversation. In this conversation, I'd like to talk with you about what you can do. What you can do to assure yourself as much as possible of your abilities to make free choices, free decisions about your health, about your Kundalini expression, about all the things that are incredibly important to your Kundalini process, such as clean food, clean water, the ability to move about, the ability to travel, the ability to raise your children the way you want to raise them. These things are very, very important. And one of the first things that I want to mention to you is to grow your own food. Grow your own food. Okay? Isolate a way for you to store your own water and allow that storage to be a continuous thing, such as rain catch. If you can catch the rain, as they do in Brazil, and some of the smaller villages in Brazil, they have tanks over each house. And those tanks serve to catch the rain. And I'm going to suggest that you do that too. Rain catch is what it is. And if you're living in the United States, you can go to Home Depot and they will sell you a rain catch kit. It'll be a kit where you can put together various items that you need to catch the rain and put this into a large barrel, preferably a 55-gallon barrel. And from that 55-gallon barrel, you can pump your rainwater and use it as you see fit, rather than have your water controlled by the municipality that you live within. Another thing that you can do is you can start to be much more discriminatory about the food that you eat. Ask your Kundalini, does she want you to eat just vegetables? Does she want you to eat certain meats with your vegetables? And gain some clarity on that. Remember, it's about how you feel when you walk into the grocery store. You got your grocery cart there, and you walk in and you ask your Kundalini, guide me on what you would like me to have, and then follow that guidance. You'll feel compelled to go to the vegetable areas. You'll feel compelled to buy carrots or bell peppers or lettuce. Make sure as much as possible that you can get organic material, because organic vegetables and fruits, because they're starting to inject mRNA viruses and vaccines into the food chain, into your fruits, into your vegetables. They're growing it with mRNA, genetic engineering, and I'm quite certain they're really not going to focus on telling you about it so much. Although there are certain rules within higher spiritual realms where you do have to inform people of what you're going to do before you do it, and then you depend on whether or not those people are going to rise up in resistance to it or not. So there are some laws, some higher spiritual laws that have to be maintained, and so try your best to get the cleanest food you can. And at this point in this world right now, organic seems to be the best you can get, unless you're going to grow it yourself. Definitely grow it yourself if you can. Now, if you're an older person, let's say you're on a fixed income, and you've got you're over 64, and you're getting your retirement payments. Do your best to look at different areas where you can be. I know that as you get older, people get a little frantic about how they're going to be taken care of in the elderly years, and how that's going to work out. I'm just going to suggest that you get yourself a travel trailer. I know. You're living in the Taj Mahal right now. You're living in the finest home that you can imagine. You're not going to want to leave that. And I got to tell you right now, straight up, I understand that most of you will not follow my suggestions. Most of you are just going to continue to to put YouTube on your big screen while you're out there sitting in the jacuzzi, sipping your wine or whatever you're sipping, smoking your marijuana, and just going, well, yeah, Chrism, I like some of what he says, but man, I ain't gonna give this stuff up. I'm not gonna give up my jacuzzi, my pot, my alcohol. So I understand. I understand. This is going to be valid for very, very few people within the higher comfort zones of our society. But if you're within Kundalini and you're surrendered to Kundalini, then I encourage you to follow what your Kundalini tells you to do, compels you to do. Remember, we don't listen for words with the Kundalini. We feel the compelling from our heart, from the fourth chakra. You feel that compelling, and you feel, oh, okay, she wants me to have bananas, or oh, okay, she wants me to meditate next to this river. She wants me to live next to this river. She wants me to move. She wants me to move to a certain area. I have to talk slower because it seems like the camera won't keep up. So get yourself a travel trailer, even a small one like a 14, whatever you feel comfortable with. Get yourself something to pull it with and go out of the cities. Get yourself a blank piece of land. Get yourself some solar equipment, some batteries to store it in, the solar electricity. Get yourself to a place that has water, or the water table is high so that you don't have to go so deep to get to it. And really begin to take this seriously. If you have kids, you have a wife, a husband, get them into it by expounding on all the positives, the fresh air, the sunshine, the lack of noise, the lack of constant pressure of people crammed together in such tight, small little spaces. Get yourself out of the cities, my friends. Nothing against the city dwellers. Just within a Kundalini context, you really need to get yourself into the environment, the natural environment. And let that help you. I mean, this is what you do. This is, people are asking me, well, what do I do? What do I do? How do I do this? And this is what you do. This is what you do. I don't care if you live in a tent, but just make sure you live in a community. It's the community that matters. The community, the Kundalini community. And it doesn't have to be, run by a charismatic leader or anything like that. It's just, you got to have Kundalini people around you that pretty much, have the Kundalini and understand the things that we have to do while we're having the Kundalini. It's important, ladies and gentlemen. It's important to have people that have your back, that have the same life condition that you have. And it's fine. It's great. You can go up onto a mountain. You can find a cave. You can live by yourself in the cave and haul water and chop wood. And you can do all these things all by yourself. But it's better to have a community. If you're feeling sick one day, somebody else can haul your water and chop your wood. Okay, if the little ones are sick and you've got your hands full just trying to take care of the babies, the children, well, then the community can kick in and help you do that. It's better to have a community. And you're wondering, well, where can I set up a community? You can set up a community anywhere outside of the cities. You can do it in the middle of Nebraska, if you want. You can do it on the high plains. You just got to take in consideration the weather conditions and what you're going to face typically within a 4-season scenario. So if you move into the mountains and you're up at, like, say, over 3,000 elevation, well, you can expect snow. You can expect to have some snow. And so you need to take that into consideration. This is why I think a really good segue into living in a community is the RV. I know it sounds terrible. Trailer trash. All the names, come come into it. But it's not that. It's not that. Anyway, I don't know if it stopped recording, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right now. But oh no, it hasn't stopped recording. So the greatest segue is really with a travel trailer or a camping site or something like that, where you still have the amenities, like a stove, a refrigerator, a bathroom, a bed. You're out of the elements. This is what a trailer gives you. This is also called a caravan in Europe. So this is what a caravan can give you, and I suggest you take advantage of them. You get old ones; they're not expensive. The biggest expense, I think, is going to be finding something to pull it with, and that means a pickup truck or hiring someone to. You find your piece of land while you're in your Toyota Prius. you you go out, you find your piece of land where you want, you get that piece of land, or you arrange so that you can live on that piece of land, and then you have your trailer taken out there, parked where you want it parked. Make sure you understand where the wind blows. Is it a north wind you have or a south wind? Which way do the storms come in, so that you can, you don't want to open your door and have a blizzard blowing into your trailer. And so also look at the idea of building a structure over your trailer. If you're living in snowy country, well, you want to build a structure over that thing so that the snow doesn't accumulate on top of the trailer. If you're in a tropical area or a hot area where there is no snow, well, you have nothing to worry about with that. But make sure that you have perhaps some cooling, like an air conditioner or something of that nature, even an electric fan. And don't forget the solar panels, the wind generators, and all of these different generators that will give you the electricity that you're so used to living with. Until the community is built and people are coming together to some degree, you're going to have to go into it on your own, by yourself, unless you got a companion that will come with you. If you got a family of 8 kids and a husband, take the 8 kids and the husband, continue to homeschool, continue to feed them the best foods you can possibly find, and start your garden. Start growing your food wherever you land. Okay, that means you want to bring some fertilizers. That means you want to bring some mulch. That means you want to learn how to mulch. That means you want to learn how to take care of your body waste in a way that fertilizes the ground. This is what they do in other countries, Brazil and in Peru. In Peru, when I was down there for an ayahuasca retreat with 17 other Kundalini people, they give you a bucket and they give you some straw, and you go number 2 into the bucket, you cover it with straw, which hides the scent. And when that bucket is full, you dump it onto an area, and you let it age there for a little bit, and then you spread it into the soil that you want to use for farming. And I know, this goes against all the quote unquote health and environmental things, but it's really the way it's done. It was done this way in the Brazilian rainforest for, God, they're discovering that these people actually created a super soil that is still there today, that is still incredibly fertile for growing fruits and vegetables. And this is what I suggest we do. And also, if you have a farm, or continue to raise your animals, continue to raise your cattle and your sheep and your horses, and if you can, start raising some deer. Start raising things, chickens, ducks, geese, quail, ptarmigans, grouse, all of these animals that can contribute their life to your life in the form of food. So this is what you can do. This is what you can begin to do. Look for that place to go, and then start filling in the gaps with arranging to go, getting the travel trailer if you're going to go that route, driving out there in your car if you can go that route, and see how it is. Do your research. on the history of the land that you're looking at, so that you know what the weather is like, that you know where the storms come from. You know whether it's in the middle of a drought. You know what the water table is. Okay, you know what the components of the soil are. Is it a sandy loam soil? Is it a black soil? What kind of soil is it? Have a lot of clay in it? Is it a lot? Does the soil have a lot of properties that are not helpful for growing? Okay, like alkalinity. If your soil is really alkaline, then you're not going to grow your garden there. So you got to look at these things. Inform yourself. Thanks for watching.